The Bible says, the Old Testament, New Testament, which is pretty powerful. I know people misinterpret it all, but it's ancient text. The people that are there. Like you read Ezekiel, like 3 burning wheels land.
Yeah.
There's a blue firmament over its head. It gives me something to take. I take it, and I'm given the full data of the plan that the genetics has been infested, and God must destroy everyone.
Do you think that's an alien story?
Oh, it's 100%. But
that's what they always talk about. They always talk about that being an alien story. That's one of the primary stories when they talk about the Bible. Ezekiel's Vision, a wheel within a wheel. They always talk about that. But if you read it,
it says floating off the ground in the Hebrew.
Yeah.
And the King James is pretty clear too. Floating comes a thing with a crystal firmament over its head. And then the face is shifting different creatures. It's like a video screen.
Well, if you think about how long it would take for an alien to get here, it really only makes sense that unless they have a constant base
they send a robot.
They visit, or if they came by themselves, they came by themselves a long fucking time ago. Like if they were able to make interstellar travel like 3,000 years ago, which is not that big of a leap. If you think about us 3,000 years from now, we probably can do something like that, right? So if they were doing that 3,000 years ago and they found human beings, and these are the stories that we have, these stories like Ezekiel and like there's a bunch of different ancient stories about contact with the skies. You know, the ancient Hindu
take
text.
Revelation.
Yes.
There's a world government. The beast is 50 feet tall. It shifts. Everyone can see it at the same time. It's a hologram. And you've got these digital systems. If you don't go along with it, you can't buy or sell.
Yeah.
People say, oh, that's not real, but it's manifesting.
And then go 2,000 years in the future, they have advanced technology. They don't send people anymore. Now they send aliens. If you go back to the old days, it was actually some sort of humanoid or a large thing, like all the Zechariah Sitchin shit that covers the Sumerian text.
Exactly. That's what...
it makes sense.
That's what all those guys are telling you, like Avatar. James Cameron's definitely dialed in. It's like, no, they're jacking in.
Well, it makes sense that if there was a visitor to this planet 5, 10, 15,000 years ago, if there was, maybe more, maybe if there was a visitor hundreds of thousands of years ago that actually did genetic experiments on lower hominids, if that was really the case, it makes sense that their technology would increase far more rapidly.
But let's go past that. Obviously, scientists like to plant things, gardeners like to plant things, but that's Joe, that's exactly what the globalists believe. Is that
maybe they're just aware of what the fuck's going on? They're as powerless as we are. If there really are
I agree.
aliens,
more and more, they only put soulless people in charge who are compartmentalized. Nobody else knows who will carry this out. But we're able, because we're advanced, to look at this. Because let's just get down to brass tacks.
Tax. I love tax.
No, Joe, you just said it. Instead of some weird, dumb preacher, you know, in Alabama, I'm not bashing Alabama, saying stuff, you get mad at this. Don't look at why it's so demonized. Look at why it's demonized. Think about that.
Right.
Think about how it says that there's no reality and God creates a whole new virtual reality, gives light, does all of it, and then his genetic experiment by rogue elements gets involved. It's all right there. And when you actually look at it and you expand on it, and you're like, oh my God, this is like beyond a science fiction book. And so it's the obvious thing. That's why they keep telling us, oh, look, Piltdown, man, all this fake stuff. No, Joe. They did an accelerated mutagenic, they're doing it to us now, it's something new. They did an accelerated mutagenic program on this planet. And humanity, what does the Bible start with? It says, we are made in the image of God. What does that mean? We don't have God's knowledge. We don't have God's advancement. We're the image. Well, what is an image? It's a scan. It's numbers. It's the genetics. It's the potential. So we are the aliens, Joe, and everybody already knows this. We are the aliens.
Do you think that we are a product of alien intervention? They took these lower hominids and they accelerated their evolution by applying their genetics? Do you think that?
Here's the deal. They say we're 97% chimpanzee, but then they actually get into the deeper genetics. We're closer to pigs or rats. So I think that this was an environment built for us. We're the master genetic program, and they're all subsets of us, just for a backstory. And that's what the globalists think. And
yeah, but do you think that the aliens created us? Like, this is like one of the primary...
Here's what the elite believes. The elves are biological androids, the Greys. And then there's other systems going on, and no one knows because it's all warfare, psychological stuff. No one knows the truth because it's virtual reality once you get to that level. So no one knows. We just know we're advanced. But we are, and I'm not just saying this to make everybody feel powerful. The globalists are obsessed. The elites are obsessed because reportedly, obviously, humans are pretty freaking cool. We've got some big, giant mission and maybe that's a program, I don't know, that we're like pretty super advanced, but you can't put something out like the Spartans, where when their kids were 7, they throw them out for 2 years in the woods. You can't just put something out like liberals. You give everybody everything. They're little assholes. So this is like boot camp and training, and so they have to test us and do all this. And basically, this planet is what the people say. It's a big testing ground for other things that are going to come. And we are it. We are God. And I don't mean I'm God. I'm already God. I've achieved godhood. Because you can see that potential in yourself, and the lower level elves will tell you that, because they already know you're badass. But if they can trick a tadpole that's going to grow into Godzilla to go kill itself, they're winning. So the elves are a test. The elves are a test on us to attack us and see the survival of the fittest. But they're nothing. They're like, by the time we achieve consciousness, we're going to look back and go, we're not going to be looking at that. Because I think when you jump to the next level, there's an even bigger war going on.
What's the biggest war?
Consciousness in the universe is an interdimensional spacecraft beyond that looks like a comet from my research, and it has its head, it has its corona.
That's consciousness.
Consciousness. It carries evil in the tail end.
So consciousness has a location?
No, there is this giant consciousness that's God.
Okay.
Swimming in a giant system of survival of the fittest that God has created to test God's self.
Okay.
And it looks like a comet. So you got God's conscience and all the good things, the knowledge going forward, but God knows that everybody has to be tested. So the tail goes out, and at the end of the tail is basically evil. That's why Christ says, "Get behind me, Satan." And it's always trying to test God and infiltrate up into it to sabotage it.
Damn. If they do pull the plug in this podcast, this is a good way to end this motherfucker.
If your burnout one is finished,
no, I'm not.
Fine.
I'm just saying, if 1,300 and something, if the fucking governments come in.
But Joe, they love you because you're a smart guy.
No. You guys been talking about aliens so much, dude. Trust me, this is going to be one of the biggest YouTube videos of all time.
Is that the move, to talk about aliens as much as possible?
They love aliens. They love it. It's all over children's programming.
They want BS alien stuff where they come out of space. It's interdimensional, Eddie.
Well, when you say aliens, it sounds like you're talking about
the elite, Joe,
the Pleiadians.
Eddie,
that's what it sounds like you're talking about.
The elite literally believe they're in contact with these things.
Well, maybe they are.
Yeah.
Well, describe what you saw on DMT, and you tell us.
You have these experiences where thoughts become patterns. They become like geometric patterns that are moving through space, and they change and shift, but they're letting you know that they know all your bullshit. They see right through you.
And they're saying thought is creation.
They want you to relax. Yes, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of thought is creation. Yes.
Yeah, but the only...
relax, Cassie. Don't struggle.
I wouldn't call them aliens, though. What I saw, I never referred to them as aliens.
But that's the term everyone knows. Not of this world. Not of our average thing.
I would think it was aliens if it woke me up in the middle of the night and took me aboard a ship, and that's what I experienced. I would be 100% convinced that I went to an alien spaceship and I talked to these things. The difference is how it was like to smoke it and then lay back and then experience that is like I expected that progression of events. But if I woke up in the middle of the night, I was going to take a leak, and a light shone down through the bathroom, and they sucked me through the window, took me aboard a spaceship, and I saw the exact same thing that I saw while I was high on DMT, I'd be 100% convinced that I was in contact with aliens. The only difference is how I got there. Like, I got there through a drug. I got there through smoking something that's produced by the human brain that I knew was pretty safe. No one's ever died of it. I'm like, let's see what happens.
But I go back to everyone I've talked to. In mass groups taking, particularly ayahuasca, they have group events and see the same things and hear the same things.
Yes.
Which is the psychic connection, but it's beyond that. You could argue, well, one person's a psychic leader. They project it in everybody else's minds.
Yes.
But who's projecting that into them? So that's the only way it's out. This is why the Pentagon...
It might not be someone projecting anything into your mind. It might be your newfound ability to perceive things that you could... The way I look at it is like...
No, I agree, but why are they all 43 people, in Costa Rica all seeing aliens?